Truth Frequency Radio.
Astronauts to the moon.
10, 9, ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Not to get off track here, but I feel like we're in the Truman Show, and we're in a snow globe, and they just shook it up.
Welcome to reality.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages. You are tuned into your protection from deception. That's right here at truthfrequencyradio.com and simulcasting live, I hope, on YouTube and together. You're all correctly tuned into the current, reigning, and undisputed #1 show on TFR on Monday nights between the hours of 6 and 8 p.m. Pacific. That's 9 to 11 Eastern. That show is Jeranism Monday Night Raw, and it starts now. I'm your host, Jaron from Jeranism, and my co-host, my co-conspirator, is the one, and thank God the only, David Maldonado Weiss. David, how are you this fine evening?
Well, I'm asked that question quite often, and if you base it on the last video I just watched, I don't know how I'm doing, man. I just watched the SpaceX launch from today, and
oh boy,
oh my God,
I saw it. It was
oh my God.
How do people believe this stuff? Man.
I mean, I don't think a kindergartner would believe it.
No, I don't think so. But unfortunately, there's several people much older than kindergarten that do believe it. So we will get to that, and we will jump into everything else we want to talk about. I feel like we just did this, though. I think it's because I was just on the most recent episode of the very popular Flat Earth podcast.
Award-winning.
Yes, I was going to say that. Award-winning Flat Earth podcast. If people don't know where they can find that, where can they catch this critically acclaimed audio presentation?
TheFlatEarthPodcast.com has all the links, or you can just go to iTunes, SoundCloud, just Google it. It'll come up.
All right. Yeah. Just Google it. It'll come up. So check it out.
Google it. It's on YouTube. It's on SoundCloud, iTunes. Those are the easiest places to find it.
All your favorite podcast players. You have Flatworth, Matt Long, and DITRH, David Weiss. So definitely worth watching. Make sure you subscribe and all that jazz.
And maybe even a little sprinkling of some Curious Silent J.
I noticed that. Maybe others did not, but you'll have to check it out. There's a little Easter egg in this week's Flat Earth podcast.
Only one person commented that they thought they heard Curious J.
That's about as close as people pay attention then.
Yeah.
Before I get started, the phone lines are open, so you can get in line by calling 213-233-3998. Again, that's 213-233-3998. Or if you have a question or comment that you want to get addressed on the show, you can try the super chat function. That works as well. But also you can call in 213-233-3998. Get in line as the lines do pack up. Also, what else did I want to talk about? Hello to everyone in the chat, whether you're in the TFR chat, the YouTube chat, or the very popular but not quite yet award-winning Ginger Sugar Bush 905 chat. We welcome you and thank you for joining us. A reminder, at the end of hour one, we'll be shutting off the YouTube live stream due to contractual obligations. Oh, that came out wrong. Due to contractual obligations. That was better. I cleaned it up a little. Anyway, we'll be shutting that off. You can either head over to Ginger Sugar Bush 905 to watch hour two, or simply go to tfrlive.com and click listen live, and boom, you're done. It's free. It's easy. So again, thanks for joining us. Glad the YouTube stream seems to be working this week, as last week David had some technical difficulties. This week I've corrected those. I've corrected those deficiencies, and now it seems to be running smooth as silk, and you have me to thank. So let's see what to talk about. I want to get into Mars, of course, but let's start with a news from the Hilarious File. Dave, did you happen to see the latest proclamation from your friend and my friend, Richard Branson?
No, I did not. What did he say now?
Oh my God, this is classic. This is according to the Concocted News Network, otherwise known as CNN. Hey, there we go. We got a $20 super chat. Thank you very much. Check out the exchange I had with Marty Leeds in the comment section of his video titled Wolfgang How Big. See season 3, episode 5. Hashtag Wolfo Crowder. All right. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. Let's read this from the esteemed news organization that is CNN. Richard Branson has stated the following. Are you ready? That his company, Virgin Galactic, will be taking people to space by Christmas.
No.
By Christmas.
This Christmas.
By Christmas. Oh my
This
goodness.
Christmas.
This
He's gonna be
Christmas.
taking people to space.
By Christmas.
Oh my God. They didn't really say. You sure you're not reading The Onion?
By Christmas. Nope.
Oh.
This is actually from CNN. Probably the funniest news story I've ever heard. So
Richard
yeah,
Branson
pack your bags, guys.
is
and
my
get ready.
hero, by the way.
Why is that?
You know that I'm a big kite surfer, right?
I do know that. I've seen photographs of you kite surfing, so I guess that means you're a big kite surfer.
Yeah. So Google Richard Branson kite surfing.
Oh, I've seen that
naked
image.
model.
I've seen that image before. I see now why
You
he's
got to
your...
give the guy respect for that.
Yeah, but I just don't think it's very difficult if you have a lot of money. Speaking of a lot of money, shout out to Kay Rizzi in the chat there. Speaking of filthy rich people that piss me off. Yeah, it's just when you have that much money, I think it's kind of easy to kite surf with naked women. I don't know. It's probably just a...
Wait a minute. You're
foregone
saying that the
conclusion.
amount of money you have makes kite surfing easier?
Easier, yes.
It has to do with the skill set of kite surfing.
Oh, really? That's why you're so impressed by him? I think that
No.
picture's taken with a green screen, by the way.
Maybe.
Pretty sure
maybe.
that's not on water.
I'm
By
gonna have to
Christmas!
try it to see if it can actually be done.
We're going to be sending people to space by Christmas, so let's keep in contact with that one. If people don't remember, Richard Branson said he would have people in space in 2006.
So wait a minute. Is there does he have a rocket? Did he announce this today?
He has that
Like, he's
little
gonna start?
floaty-
I
he
mean,
has that little
who knew that he was even working on anything?
He has a little floaty plane he's been working on forever, and then they killed a bunch of people. They, killed 4 people in a total of 4 launches, I think. So you basically had about 100% chance or 50% chance of dying on one of his ships. And I guess people were just lining up. Supposedly, according to his website, 800 people have paid $250,000 to go to space. For those who can do the math, that's $200 million. Go ahead and figure out what the interest on that is and realize that he's already accepted taking that money. What an easy life. No wonder he has women, falling off of him on, what are they called? Kiteboards? I don't even know what that
Kite
sport-
surfing, yes.
Kite surfing, yeah. What is the thing that you stand on called?
Kiteboard.
Kiteboard, all right. I was right, see? So, yeah, it's just ridiculous. I can't believe it. Let me read you exactly what it says so that I'm not... it says, Richard Branson says Virgin Galactic is on the verge of a major achievement. It will send astronauts into space by Christmas. By Christmas! The billionaire entrepreneur told CNN Business Rachel Crane this week that he is pretty confident his space tourism venture can achieve its milestone by the end of the year. I'll just play the beginning of this because it's hilarious. Let's listen to this lady here. David, you might not be able to hear it. Everybody else will.
You originally said that you'd be putting people in space in 2007. And it's now 11 years later, and you guys have yet to achieve it.
That's all I wanted to hear. Did you hear it, David?
Yeah, I did. It
Oh,
came
good.
through nice.
Oh, it came through nice. All right, great.
So let me ask you a question, Jared. Will he fake put people in space successfully or not?
He has a plane that he gets up, another plane takes off, I don't know what it's called, Spaceship One or something, and then it launches another little plane underneath it that then powers as much as it can, goes as high as it can, and then floats down. So will he send people to float down? Sure. I don't know.
Do you think he's actually going to do that?
Sure, I don't
He's
think
going to
that
get
that's
people
impossible.
to like 100,000 feet or whatever and then float them down? Or do you think it's going to be like NASA and SpaceX fakery?
I'm not sure. I mean, clearly he's not going into orbit or anything like that. I think he's just going to try and get people as high as he possibly can, and then they float down and might experience weightlessness. I have no idea. I mean, it's the same thing as a parabolic flight, only instead of paying $5,000 for it, you pay $250,000 for it. You can go on one of these trajectory flights that does the parabolic, dips, which causes weightlessness for like 30 seconds. I think according to his documents or whatever I've seen, it's supposed to cause weightlessness for like a few minutes, 2 minutes or something. But like I said, he had 4 launches and killed 4 people. So I'm pretty sure that people are not signing up as actively as he says. But then again, when you're talking about rich people like Tom Hanks, I know is somebody who supposedly purchased Alicia Silverstone, people like that have purchased flights according to his website. I don't know how true that is. You can believe it if you want. I don't know. I mean, to me, what do you think? He's just gonna, because they're not going anywhere. They're not in orbit. The thing just
when
launches
you say
up.
Tom Hanks bought a ticket, that just the red flag right there.
Oh, you don't trust
Tom Hanks is
Come
involved in every propaganda movie there is.
I agree, especially
Tom Hanks is the reason I changed my idea that the only thing that I ever knew was real was Sully landing the plane on the river. But then once Tom Hanks was starring in that movie, I don't know anymore.
We'll talk about that on another show because I still think that might be true. But you're right, the movie did kind of.
It might be true, but Tom Hanks starred in the movie.
He also starred in the critically acclaimed Apollo 13. Houston, we have a problem. I don't know if you remember that was him.
Did you see? I forget which channel it is. It's a channel that shows. I'm not Americans, but maybe it's the Russians in the ISS, where the guy's doing experiments and he has the round thing that has the little talking face on it. Have you seen that?
No.
It's like a Simon. I think he calls it Simon, and it answers questions for the astronaut. But you're looking at it, it looks just like Wilson, the soccer ball.
I'll have to check that out. I have not seen that.
Yeah.
All right. Oh boy, yeah, that's pretty funny. So we'll hold our breath on that one. Just as remember, Elon Musk said that he would send people around the moon by the end of 2018. So based on my clock, he's got about 28 days. Clock's ticking.
Hey, I want to do a little shout out. Shout out to Richie from Boston, man. Love what you're doing. He's in the chat.
Richie, what's up?
Keep banging out the stuff. You're working hard, and you're appreciated on my side. Thanks.
Absolutely. Appreciate it here, too. Anybody trying to push the truth, we may have different opinions on some things, but we know we're being lied to, and that's all that matters, is get that truth out to people so that they open their eyes and stop just believing everything that comes out of that big box with CNN and Fox and all the wonderful mass media news outlets that simply tell you lies and, basically change the society as we know it, because everybody just watches that, and that's what they become, whatever it tells them to be.
Did you hear Anderson Cooper doing his President, Bush was the greatest thing ever memorial speech or whatever?
I didn't, but I don't think I want to.
It was disgusting. I mean, I only heard just a little bit of it, but just hearing him say it, it made me want to throw up.
Yeah, he makes me want to throw up. Speaking of throwing up, sometimes David does really nice things for me. Kind, loving gestures.
Hey, listen, it's
hold on.
I'm sharing.
Yeah, at other times he does rude things such as constantly send me links to terrible debunking videos, forcing me to watch them. It's probably the rudest thing anyone can do. For example, I had the recent displeasure of watching a video by Fight the Flat Earth called An Interview with an Ex-Flat Earther. Who was this esteemed ex-Flat Earther? None other than Adam Joseph Doughty. This is classic. I couldn't believe that the ball believers out there would actually go to the lengths of bringing that guy on. There's so much dirt on that guy. He is the most uncredible person there is, and he's their new star child.
How?
I don't get it.
I have no words.
No, I don't get it. One of the things that pissed me off about the video is they go again and say the reason that so many people are flat earthers is because they feel special for knowing something that others don't. And this one possibly bothers me more than anything that I've ever heard, because if I was so thrilled about knowing something others don't, would I make videos, David, telling the world my little secret? It's so dumb.
No. I mean, when I find something that I hate, I forget about it within seconds. I leave and I'm gone and I continue on with my life. But there's these people that just hang and spend so much time writing these long comments. I don't get it. I mean, I do get it, but it doesn't make any sense.
When you see something you hate, you don't just leave right away. First, you send me the link, and then
only when somebody makes me watch it. Okay,
and
then I figure I have to share.
Well, then tell me whoever told you so I can get mad at them next time.
Might be my podcast host. Sent me one this week.
Oh no, not Matt Long. Another video my good buddy David Maldonado Weiss sent me this week was by the Godless Engineer, or as he is more affectionately known, the Godless Toddler Ear. I don't know. Does that work? I did not watch even a second of this video. I must say it felt good to not do so, just to see the links. I'm not going to watch this. But the reason why is because I read the description in which he summarized my video, I thought quite well. I'm going to go ahead and read that for everybody just so that they can... maybe I don't have it ready for you. Nope, I don't have it ready. Anyway, what it said was that Jaron uses his childish banter to explain why the Mars InSight landing was completely faked. It is controlled by a supercomputer, and all the JPL scientists are being fooled by ... the government, which I thought was absolutely brilliant. I think he messed up on the word childish a little bit. I think what he meant was youthful. But besides that, I thought that was a pretty accurate representation of my video.
You know what? I don't think you ever said it was done by a supercomputer. I think it could be done with about $150 PC.
Absolutely.
With about 20 to 32 megabytes of RAM and a 10K hard drive.
I agree. It's so easy. I mean, you could have an ancient, archaic computer that can house the simulation of the universe quite easily. So you can send all the satellites you want through there, and they can go to different planets, and they can land there, and they can send back images, and it's all done in this little shitty computer. So you're right. No, I never said a supercomputer. But yeah, and then he goes on to list all these things in his description, and number 3 and 4 caught my eye. Number 3 was the reason why NASA doesn't have 4K cameras on its landers. I don't even need to watch because I already know what it is. It's just more excuses for NASA, which they constantly do, and saying, well, why would they put cameras on the craft for you, Dave? Why would it matter to them what you think or whether you think they're landing on Mars? They're actually out there doing science, drilling 15 feet deep.
That argument is so ridiculous. If you think about the building of the International Space Station, that had to be controlled from mission control that needs to see every angle, how things are moving. They're bringing these big pieces together in space. So there had to be, 50, 100 cameras, and there is 0 video footage of that thing being assembled. It's impossible. It's just impossible.
But these ball levers, that's what Matt Long coined, although it's a very interesting term. I'm going to have to outlaw it, though, because I am a ball lever, Leaver, not a ball lever, Liever. So I'm talking right now to those who actually believe they live on a sphere, to those who believe in NASA and all their propaganda, those who will make any excuse possible for whatever it is. If they don't have camera footage on it, they'll just make an excuse. Why would they have camera footage on it for you, even though a GoPro is $300, even though it can be easily powered by these massive solar arrays that they have on these crafts? They just choose not to send any video footage, even though that would be the very proof that everyone's looking for. Heaven forbid that they actually do that. But it's pretty sad to me, at least. And then if you look at people who believe in the Mars landing, for instance, or people who believe in the moon landings, riddle me this. Remember 1969, men went to the moon. In the years following, the U.S. government gave pieces of the moon as, they gave it out to various countries as like a token thing. I don't know, whatever you give people things for. But they said, here, if you helped us go to the moon, here's all these little plaques, and in it was encased this little piece of the moon, moon rock. Well, of course, one of the countries decided to open theirs, which you weren't supposed to do. It was encased nicely in a little acrylic covering, but they decided to open theirs and test it, and it came back to be petrified wood. And they will make I want to hear one of these excuses. Let's go to, let me see if I can dial them up real quick. We're going to call in Baller Dave. Let's see what the number is, 555-BALL. There we go. Baller Dave, are you on the line with us?
Yeah.
Okay, I have a question for you. How in the world is it that the United States gave another country a piece of moon rock, and it actually turned up to be petrified wood?
Jaron, I heard your question from the beginning. How do you think the moon was made? Do you know?
I don't know. You mean...
There's a couple different theories out there.
Sorry, go ahead.
And one of them is that the planet, I believe it's called Tidamont, crashed into the Earth, cutting out a chunk of it that coalesced and, due to gravity, became a orbiting, tidally locked body around the Earth. Now, do you think that there were trees on the Earth back then?
When the moon was ejected from the Earth?
Yes.
No, I don't believe in any
There
of that.
was.
Okay, sorry.
There was
trees.
trees
Oh,
back in the days of the dinosaurs.
All
I
right.
suppose you don't believe in dinosaurs either, but that's another show.
Go ahead.
And so there was petrified pieces, fossilized pieces, and
Oh.
being in the harsh environment of space with the solar radiation, it looked like a rock. Honest mistake.
So they just picked it up, put it in the bag, got back, sent it off, and then realized after that there was actually trees on the moon.
They assumed it was a rock because
But it was
they
on the
didn't
moon.
realize that pieces of trees got taken up with it.
All right. Like I said, there's some people out there that will make any possible excuse for NASA. You just heard Baller Dave's excuse that there was trees on
Not
the
an excuse,
on
it's
the
an
moon.
explanation, a
Oh.
viable, reasonable explanation.
Right. They brought back the moon rock, and it ended up being just petrified wood that had been on the moon forever. I got it now. I stand corrected. I really do. I stand corrected. I'm sorry about that. I apologize deeply. So we are going to take some calls. I see that the phone line board is packing up, so go ahead and call in if you want to join us, 213-233-3998. I also see some super chats. I should check those before I get too far away. The giant net on the ship scurrying around the ocean, catching the falling stuff from space is the best one yet. Hilarious. That is funny. David, have you seen any videos of that?
No, what is that?
Oh, the SpaceX has like some ship with a big net attached to the back of it, and it drives around the ocean and tries to catch the falling rocket pieces.
What?
Yeah, I'm being honest.
Wait, can we talk about SpaceX for a minute?
Sure, we were going to talk about that when we get back from the break, but we've got I don't know, a few minutes. Go ahead.
So when it takes off, every rocket launch is the same. There's 3 cuts within the first couple of seconds. I don't know why that far camera can't shoot it from, ignition all the way up to the clouds. But how come sometimes they leave a solid trail of smoke and other times there's absolutely no smoke? Even though there's a ton of smoke at takeoff, as soon as it leaves the pad, on these SpaceX launches, it's perfectly clean burning fuel with no smoke.
I'm pretty sure that's just steam, but I don't think it's even considered to be smoke. But
Okay, steam.
Steam, yeah. So why is sometimes steam come out and sometimes it doesn't?
Yeah.
I don't know. It should be coming out the whole time. It's being powered off to space, or
And then if you watch
the
the second stages come down, I think we could recreate that. It basically, half of it looked like a burning marshmallow being filmed in the dark.
so terrible.
It looked like a burning marshmallow. And then this little puff of flame stops this how many ton piece of metal falling out of the sky and holds it upright. How is that? What do they say holds that thing upright? Are there gyros in there?
Yeah, of course, gyros. And then you've got the RCS thrusters, which shoots gas out either side. Very fast, very rapid gas expulsion, which stabilizes the rocket. Or it's filled with helium and comes down rather easily and gingerly. I don't know. Either way you look at it. If you guys want to see what I'm talking about, and this is an interesting fact, and I haven't looked into this fully, so don't hold me exactly to this, but it appears, because I watched the live launch from the SpaceX channel, and then I was talking to Dave earlier about it and laughing, and then I went to watch it again because I told him I couldn't rewind it because I was watching live. I want to see this landing again. And when I went to watch it, the entire video is gone. The entire video from SpaceX's channel has been completely removed. I couldn't find it anywhere. So that's very interesting. So if anybody wants to check it out and look into it, maybe I found a 12-minute version that somebody basically mirrored or simulcast. It's on the channel Space Videos. And the name of it is Launch and Landing of SpaceX Falcon 9. Oh, I can drop links.
I'll pop the link in the chat.
Okay, well, I'll do it too. I gave you the link. That's right. So anyway, check that out. But maybe some people want to watch that. I think there's lots of interesting things in it, but like I said, this was today, so I haven't had time. I did see somebody make a comment in the comment section, and I went and kind of checked up on that comment, which said CNBC reported yesterday that this thing already landed. And I went to CNBC, and from what I can tell, it says that the story was written, it says like 11 hours ago, and then it says updated 3 hours ago. And it does seem to say that the thing landed. So I'm not sure when that was written, because it was supposed to launch yesterday, and then it didn't launch, and it launched today. So it would be pretty funny if CNBC ended up posting that a day early. And it basically just says, SpaceX just completed an unprecedented 19th launch this year on Monday while putting a U.S. record 64 satellites in orbit at once. But pretty funny. I don't know when this was posted. Let's see. What does this thing say? Oh, it says published.
The baller excuse for that is they pre-write these assuming that it's going to be fine, and if it they don't post it if there's a disaster.
Okay.
And they would do it on that, but their record is so good now that they can pre-write these success stories.
Yeah, I mean the record is so good at landing on Mars that they can telecast it live in Times Square and not worry at all. It wouldn't be bad for NASA's name at all if they told everybody on Cyber Monday, hey, go watch this Mars landing, and everybody tuned in, and then the thing crashed on Mars. That would be real good for business, and you can tell that's why they do it all live and right there for you at 11 a.m. Pacific is when that thing landed on Cyber Monday, which would put you right at 3 o'clock Eastern time. Which is hilarious. Well, of course, this is by chance, right? I'm sure science just happened to lead us to that exact date and time for the launch and landing. What didn't have anything to do with having people at their computers and just feeding them more and more propaganda, which is there anybody better than NASA at doing that? I dare say no.
No,
don't. I don't think so. So anyway, yeah, get in line if you want to call in 213-233-3998. We will take calls. But this Mars landing is ridiculous. Oh, but I did want people to check real quick on that video that we just talked about and dropped. I think Dave dropped the link for you. Go check it out and just watch the landing. You can go to, I believe it's right about 8 minutes. And we'll talk about that when we get back just to start, because I still have the same problem I have with the damn Mars landing. Why are these cameras the shittiest cameras in the existence of the world? Nobody has a camera this bad. You could not find a camera this bad. Anyway, don't go anywhere. You're listening to Jeranism Monday Night Raw. We're back for another segment in 2 minutes.
The reviews for Extendivite are amazing. Here are some from Amazon. September 2018. Extendivite works in keeping my blood pressure in the normal range. I've been using Extendivite for many years now. May 2018. Great product. I use regularly and I rarely get sick. March 2018. This product has relieved what appeared to be angina pain in my chest and shortness of breath after climbing stairs. I'm quite happy about it. February 2018. My husband, son, and I have been using this product for a few months now, and we have noticed an improvement in our joints and blood pressure. Tell us your story. Get Extendivite today. To order, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822, or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendivite.
Poor water quality is a major health issue, and it's only getting worse. Municipalities can't keep up, standards have dropped, and pollutants are increasing. Where does it all end? It ends by keeping the pollutants outside of your home with HydroCare's advanced systems available at Wave Home Solutions. No less than the best purification materials and processes have been developed by HydroCare to provide you with healthy, clean water for drinking, cooking, and showering. HydroCare far surpasses the competition in removing chlorine, odors, iron, lead, chemicals, limescale, and much more. Don't settle for less when it comes to your water. We'll take care of the toughest water problems for you, whether it's from a city or well source. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, call 888-997-WAVE. That's 888-997-WAVE. Or go to bestwater123.com. That's bestwater123.com.
Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
This is Phoenix of Phoenix Rising Radio. If you are interested in the law of attraction, then I recommend to you my book, The 3 Keys to Heaven, How to Unlock Your Power Within. The 3 Keys to Heaven is a guide to effectual manifestation. What you will learn from the study of this book is not theory, but is proven fact. You will learn effective techniques that will enhance your faith and your ability to powerfully manifest your heart's desires, whatever they may be. Once learned, this method of manifestation will forever change your life. So go to Amazon.com and search for the 3 Keys to Heaven, how to unlock your power within.
No hate, no hype, no fear. We are EFR, your protection from deception.
Welcome back. You are listening to Jeranism Monday Night Raw. Appreciate you joining us, and a shout out to those who have already sent in some super chats. Appreciate that. Glenn Simcox, Logan Cook, Poe, and James Sims. And just wanted to read those one more time because I didn't get a chance to make sure I read those. And now I don't see them. So I'll get to them. One of them was to check Logan Cook's Instagram post, so I will check that. Don't you worry. Dave, are you still there?
I am still here.
Oh, you scared me for a second. Thought I was on my own. That's all right, though. Yeah, so back to the SpaceX thing real quick. If anybody's watching that launch now, 8 o'clock or 8 minutes, 8 minutes, you can watch the landing on the worst camera in the history of the world. And I thought the funniest thing here, let's go to 10:14. I want you to listen to what this character says here for the reason why they can't televise the entire launch. Let's go ahead and listen to this.
So as we mentioned earlier, we won't be able to show the deployments of the satellites today because this will be happening, that will be taking place over areas where we don't have ground station coverage. So unfortunately, we won't have any live video feed to provide.
So it's taking place over an area where they don't have ground coverage, and I guess they don't have such thing as satellites, Dave. Your thoughts?
They don't have satellites. I thought they don't have the rights to air it from that location.
Well, then they lied to everybody and said it's because they don't have ground stations, and heaven forbid you beam that signal off a satellite and then down to a ground station that is within view. And think about how high they supposedly are. How would you not have ground stations that can pick up a craft that's that high? It doesn't make any sense at all. And people, they love it. They eat it up. They just want more space. I want to go to Mars.
I love how they say when the external rockets are coming down to the drone ship, they say that we will probably lose coverage due to the intense vibrations, just before it gets to the interesting part.
Right.
And then it happens.
So we complained about that so much that today they switched the camera to a faraway view with, what looks like a flip phone from Sprint from 2004. That's the camera quality that we get of this landing. It literally it could not be worse. It's that bad.
It was, and then it landed and it was invisible.
Yeah, it's just such crap, and people love it. Like I said, if you're a believer in space, you will make any excuse possible for these guys, and I can see it. The landing happens, and then it must start going through their head. All the excuses they can think of to save poor SpaceX from the ridicule they deserve.
It's like when you point out something that's impossible on the ball, such as observation of seeing Polaris in the southern hemisphere. They're like, oh, no, you can't because the Earth is a ball. You'd be looking through the ground. Therefore, I will not believe any evidence shown to me that you can see Polaris below the equator.
Right. Speaking of great evidence, Dave, have you seen the video It's done by Nathan and Wendell, and they call themselves Flat Reality Earth Explorers, otherwise known as FREE. Have you seen the video of the 13-mile test that they did across the Monterey Bay?
With the mirror.
With the mirror.
I did.
Yeah, and this is big for me. I mean, I really enjoy. I told Missa today that we need to go and replicate that exact test. And people might say, "Why do you do that? You just saw it happen." But I just need to see that for myself because it is 13 miles, and they have a mirror at the water level. I mean, if you want to say it's a foot, if you want to say it's 2 feet, go ahead. It's laying sideways. It's one of those stand-up mirrors, and it's laying sideways on the beach. A hand touch away from the water. And they are 13 and a half miles away at Pacific Grove, which is Lover's Point, where I've done my testing from. They're at the beach with a camera that's no more than 3 feet off the ground, and you can easily see the reflection of the mirror. Now, this to me is a better test than people who take a laser and send a laser across the water. And the reason for that is if you picture somebody sending a laser across that distance and somebody's at the viewing perspective, they see the laser and they say, okay, well, I see the laser. It's coming across the water. But I've heard the Glober explanation for that is, well, you're actually not seeing the source of the laser. You're seeing the laser at the moment that it crosses the hump or whatever, which I don't agree with, but it makes sense to me. I'm like, okay, well, I can see that. It would be hard to determine whether you're actually seeing the source of the laser or the point where the laser is now coming up over that hump. So I can see that, but then I said, okay, well, what we need to do is get something that has a mandatory line of sight, and that is where the sun reflections of the mirrors come in. That if you can see the reflection of the mirror, you're not seeing the reflection of the mirror come over the curve. It makes no sense at all. That's not how reflections work. And also, they've used these heliographs or heliotropes. I'm not sure which one people call them. The signaling devices that were used in the wars, World War I, World War II, to signal long distances. But basically, they were extremely advanced at that time because you have to have line of sight. And nobody can intercept the message because they have to be in the line of fire, meaning you would have to be somewhere standing in between the mirror and the observer to see the flashes of the mirror. So in this case, if you're seeing the flash of the mirror, you're actually seeing the sun reflect off the mirror. You're not seeing that reflection as it comes over any bend or curve. So to me, this is one of the best evidences I've seen, and I want to see more of doing that because there's actually reports of them signaling each other, not them, I mean people in the military and things like that in the 30s and 40s, signaling each other like 150 miles.
Is it easier to pull that test off late in the day without the sun being high, where the person looking for the reflection has the sun behind them?
Correct. Yep, that's the best time. Yeah, so if you're doing it in the Monterey area like they did, the best time you want to do that is around sunset or maybe 2 hours before that. And then you've got the sun at a low position behind the observer's head, and he's observing, looking for that reflection off that mirror, and they see it quite clearly. Do you have the link to that video or no? I'm off.
I could pull it up.
If you could, that'd be great, and then drop that in the chat just so people can watch that. One of the better made videos I've seen in a little while as far as testing. You can clearly see both ends. It's not like somebody's just filming from one spot and telling you where the other person is. You can see video of it. And again, I've worked with both these guys. I was great meeting Wendell did you meet Wendell? I'm not sure if you met him. He was in Denver with us.
I might have briefly met so many people.
Yeah, great guy. And then also Nathan, who I met when I went out there to do a test as well. So just
Here
good
comes
guys.
the link, everybody.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. So yeah, check that out. It's really great evidence, and I would love to see them do even further. And I think it's possible because where they're looking, they just did 13 miles from Pacific Grove to the what is that? The name of that place? Moss Landing, where they've got these big power poles, power stacks, smokestacks. Thank you. And you can continue to pull your camera left, and you can get even further. Meaning you still have got Aptos, and then you've got Santa Cruz, and at that distance, you're looking 25 miles. So it is possible to even do further. And again, there's supposed to be, I want to do the curve calculator on that just so I don't forget. Of course, this is the begging the question, proof of nothing curve calculator. But we are going to pull it up just for fun. For an eye height, I'm going to put 6 feet. Like I said, the camera is clearly at 3 feet. and at the other side of the water, the mirror is clearly less than a foot, but we'll just put 6 feet to be baller friendly. Target distance of 13.5 miles. Calculate that, 73 feet of curvature. And yet we're seeing the reflection of the mirror. Well, that's a missing 73 feet of curvature. And these are the kind of proofs that have been abounding. You know, I texted Dave today about it, and he kind of responded, yeah, I saw it, but aren't we seeing thousands of those kind of proofs? And he's right. We have seen, hundreds, if not thousands, of these kind of proofs. But I like the one with the mirror because I think it's ball explanation proof. The more we do these lasers, they're just going to continue to go with their new explanation, which is the curvature of the Earth is bending the laser. But I have yet to hear a baller say, oh, the curvature of the Earth is somehow bending the reflection of the sun. I mean, clearly you have to watch the video yourself, and you'll see that without a doubt we are seeing the reflection directly off the mirror. I don't even think there's any question. How about you?
No, it's amazing. Now, a lot of ballers will say 13 miles is not enough distance.
But it's 73 feet of curvature. And I aimed high. Remember, I just went with an eye height of 6 feet. If we actually go down to where it really was at 3 feet, add the foot that the mirror is above at 4 feet, 13 and a half, that's 81 feet of curvature. So, I mean, even if we put 15 feet, that's 50 feet of curvature. Even if we put 20 feet, and they're at the beach. They're down at the beach, 42 feet. I mean, no matter 30 feet high.
I guess the reason I say that is because I live right on Long Island Sound, and I could look across the Sound at about 8 miles, and I could look 25 miles down the Sound and see the shoreline of New York City and bridges, and I could see underneath them. And I guess I'm just programmed to think that 13 miles isn't enough because I'm able to see that far on a curved Earth. So I don't know how it's possible.
Are you standing at the beach?
I'm standing right at the water's edge, and I could see underneath the Whitestone Bridge. Now, the deck of that bridge is, varying heights depending on the tide, but the towers, I think they're like 238 feet. Don't quote me on that. And there should be more curvature than that. What is the curvature at 25 miles?
Off the top of my head, I would say it's 300 feet, but we'll go ahead. So viewer position, we'll put you at 10 feet, and you said 25 miles?
25 miles.
300 feet.
Yeah, and I can see underneath the deck of the bridge. So actually, I have my P1000 out for IR conversion right now.
Oh, you went to Life Pixel?
I did.
Sweet.
I did.
I think that's a smart move. Smart move.
I plan on doing a multi-hour time lapse on when the conditions are right of underneath the bridge and the land behind it, and the buildings behind it. I'm curious to see if I'll get something similar to that lake video.
Right. Yeah, like Skunk Bay.
Skunk Bay, yeah.
Yeah, no, that would be awesome to see. I haven't seen many other people do time lapses like that. But if you could get somebody on the other end of that 25 miles who has, I would say you would need like a door mirror. I guess that's what you call them, right? The long, skinny mirror. And have them just stand over there. For you, would the sun be behind you when it sets as you're looking across the Sound, or no?
No, it would set behind them.
Oh, it sets behind.
I'm looking to the southwest when I'm looking down towards New York City.
Okay, I thought you were looking east. Sorry.
Now, if I could get somebody out on Montauk, which is 65 miles away.
See, and when you get to that position, you can then get up as high as you want. I mean,
well, the thing is, in Montauk, the highest point in Montauk is 95 feet. Okay,
right.
And I one day last year in the winter was able to see the shoreline on Montauk 65 miles away.
Wow. Yeah, so you said the highest point you can get is 100 feet over there at Montauk?
Yeah.
And then how high could you get where you are? Could you get 100 feet?
No.
Okay, so could you get 50
maybe
feet?
20 feet.
20 feet.
Max,
so we'll
less than 20 feet.
We'll put 150 feet just for fun. And then you said how many miles is that? 60?
65. It was a half a mile of curvature.
Okay, so 65. Yeah, it's at 150 feet, it would be 1,667 feet. So that's what I'm talking about. If you can get a reflection off of a mirror from that distance, to me, it's just it's getting to the point though now. I'm not sure anything will prove this stuff to the ballers. It's just they don't.
And also, what people don't realize is it's not easy to get all of the conditions and the timing and the people to line up to get all of that done. It doesn't just happen.
No, it doesn't just happen. I mean, the last time I drove to the beach to do a test, it was 2.5 hours to get there, some setup, and then talking back and forth with the people on the other side. And it's logistically a nightmare. And then also the weather conditions when we were there was completely overcast, and there was a haze over the entire ocean, or bay, if you want to call it that. So, I mean, for us, it's frustrating because then you end up leaving. You didn't get anywhere. You didn't get any footage. And that's why I don't even mention anymore when I'm going to go do those tests, because then everybody comes asking, well, what happened? What did you do on your test? What happened? And you're like, well, there wasn't good enough conditions to do a test. So it's better just to, I don't announce it anymore, and we just go out and do these tests when we can. But, yeah, I think that I don't know what it will take to get them to be convinced, because there's simple stuff like Canigou, right, where you're seeing a mountain 175 miles away from only 1,000 feet. And that mountain should be behind 13,000 feet of curvature, and the mountain itself is only 8,000 feet. And you can see a good majority of that mountain. Can you see down to the shore? Well, that'd be a crazy statement to make. It's 175 miles, and everything at the shore has gone way too small for you to see. But you can definitely see the better half, if more than half of that mountain. So, if that doesn't convince people, and we've got, the newscaster there telling us that we see a mirage when you see the buildings in Chicago.
The back to Canigou, the baller argument there is if it was really not a mirage, you'd be able to see it every day. And the reason that you can't see it every day, I'm sure you know, Jaron, is because the light reflecting off that mountain can't make it that distance back to your eye. It just gets blocked out.
Correct.
However, the sunlight is much stronger, and it can. And as the sun moves past the mountain, and its angle of view gets the mountain in between it on those 2 days a year, then you're not seeing the mountain really. You're seeing it silhouette the sun.
Yeah, the mirage talk is just such nonsense, because you can go watch time lapses of the Chicago skyline, and the buildings don't move. Do they morph a little bit towards the bottom? Yeah, of course they do, because you're looking through all that atmosphere that sits right above the water, which is the muckiest, dirtiest air that there is, right? I mean, that's the wettest air. That's where you're going to have the most problems with seeing. But the buildings are clearly not a mirage. And, I put that at the beginning of my videos in the intro, simply to remind people that what we're seeing there is not a mirage. And it's hard for people to grasp, and I know ballers have trouble with it. They have trouble with everything, including the fantastic flat Earth sun and moon clock. Dave, have you heard a lot of hate coming your way?
Oh my God, it's nonstop. It's nonstop. The biggest argument is that the sun isn't in the right place because when you look west, and I try to point out people that you can't look west. If you're pointing west, what direction are you pointing, Jaron?
Well, south.
You're pointing south, and people don't understand that's the same on a ball Earth and a flat Earth, because here's a perfect example.
What are you saying? East and west are circles? You idiot.
Yeah, now you're putting in new rules, and they cannot see it. But I'm not saying that's a flat Earth proof. It's just a undisputed fact. Well, it's disputed, but it's a fact.
Right.
So just imagine yourself. You're on the equator, and
nice weather here. Nice, I like it.
Right. If you're looking at the flat Earth map, if you're on the equator, and a quarter way around the map you put the moon on the equator, well, that's a curved line. You can't point directly west from your position and remain on the equator. You're going to be tangent to that equator, because if you keep yourself aligned with north, east and west are circles, and they just can't see that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I see the same thing. And if people want to watch my video, if you go look at the video I did with Iru yesterday on my channel, towards the beginning of the video, I show just a quick little snippet of a video of me showing a light on the ceiling in my bedroom. And if we were to all kind of look at that light from in the bedroom and we're trying to get an exact location of it, that's all fine and dandy until we have to look through any kind of an atmosphere. So I put up the glass half dome that we've used many times to explain this before. And to Flat Earth asshole out there, no, we're not saying that we live inside the glass half dome, even though that's what he thought. No, we're saying that you're looking through like an atmosphere. It's the same thing. It's a thick atmosphere. And when you put that in front of the light on the ceiling in your bedroom, just by moving the atmosphere to the left or right or a little bit on the outside, you can completely move that light from one end of the room to the other. And that's plenty of explanation to me that when you're standing down in the south, say Australia, and you're looking west at the setting sun, and they say, well, it's setting for me in the south of west. Well, great. That doesn't mean that's where the sun is. I mean, that's where the observable sun, that's where the apparent sun is south of west. But that doesn't mean that's where the location of the sun is.
Go in a pool and look up at the sun, and then stick your head up and look where the sun is.
Right.
2 different positions.
Exactly. And that our atmosphere works just like that. Yeah. Is it like a pool filled with water? No. But the atmosphere is very thick and causes everything in the sky to change positions. And we've shown examples of that before. So, yeah, I mean, that's, the big complaint from Wolfie 6020. I talked to people about that one. I would not spend any time listening to Wolfie.
I love the fact that him and Reds are just obsessed with my app more than I am.
I love it too.
They just can't let it go, and they're sending teams of people over there to give it 1-star reviews, and their comments are just so silly.
Well, can you imagine that your entire fantasy world, your entire belief in space and space travel, and we're going to go to the moon, and we're going to go to Mars, and we're going to go with Elon Musk and be this spacefaring nation, is just shit on by the app. So I mean, to me, it's funny because of course they're going to be upset if it didn't bother them at all. If they were just firm believers in their ball Earth and the sphericalness of in the empty space and all this stuff. If they just believed that so fully, why would they even care?
They can't let it go.
They can't let it go. No, it's must be very addicting to them. And again, I think David said earlier, it's still funny to me, and I still want to look into this even more, is the people who listen to this show constantly, watch my channel constantly, call into this show constantly. We might even get a call from the meatballer caller out there tonight. And again, I will always start
I hope not. I can't take it.
Well, I mean, we always have to ask the question, though, to him is, what are you doing here? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. If it's something I don't like, there's tons of stuff on YouTube that I hate. And guess what? I don't watch it. I don't show up in their chat. I don't send people to their chat in chat raids to write a bunch of nonsense and crybaby stuff. When I don't like something, I just turn it off. If I don't like the channel, I block it. It's really easy.
Hey, a quick update on the app. The Android is coming along. It's taking a little longer than I expected, maybe by the end of this week. But if you want to do me a favor, I guess maybe because of all the Wolfie and Red's attention, when you search in the App Store for Flat Earth now, it's a #1 hit. You don't even have to write Flat Earth Sun or Flat Earth Clock.
Thank you, Wolfie.
It comes up as the #1 hit. If you can go over there and give it a review, if you want to give it a 1-star review, feel free. But I think most people here will rate it accordingly and help keep that rating up. That would be appreciated.
And it's a free app, and it's a good app, and it has a lot of quality functions that I don't see anywhere else, and helps me understand if I ever want to look, where's the moon? Why haven't I seen the moon in a few days? You go look at it, and you would find out that we are at a new moon phase. Is that correct, Dave?
Yeah, we're going right into a new moon phase. Well, a couple days ago, I was looking at my app, and I'm like, oh, the moon's rising. And I look over there, and there it was. I probably wouldn't have looked over there if my app didn't tell me the moon was there. Seems to work for me.
Yeah, it works for me too. Right now, the sun is right over Australia and getting very near at the extent of its path. We know December 21st, it will be as far as it goes. It'll hang there for a few days and then start its way back until it gets back as far as it goes north, and that'll be in June. So I think it's a great app. It explains seasons so much better than any model I've ever been shown. Certainly not the Sphere Earth model, which makes no sense with seasons. It doesn't make any sense at all. If people don't know this, just to a little fact of the day, to any believers out there in the ball Earth, in the Sphere Earth, do you know that if you live in the north, which I'm sure you do, 95% of or 92% of the population of Earth live in the northern hemiplane. Is that correct? Hemiplane? Did I get that right? Yeah.
Hemiplane.
Oh,
hemiplane.
Oh, sorry.
I was corrected by a baller. Hemis means sphere.
Oh, hemiplane.
Hemiplane. I like it.
I like it too. I got it.
I stood corrected. It was one of the comments actually on the app.
All right, it's in my vocabulary now. I got it. But what was I saying about the app? No, I don't remember. Way to go. No, the ball Earth belief is that the sun is 3 million miles closer in the southern summer. So that means if you go out this afternoon or tomorrow afternoon and you look at the sun and you can barely feel it, and just realize that it's actually 3 million miles closer than it is when it's July and it's 110 or 115 degrees. The sun is actually closer to you by, what is that, 375 Earth diameters. I mean, this is such a nonsense belief. And then, go ahead.
Which is, I was going to say, in the baller's mind, that's nothing compared to 93 million miles. So it's a fallacious argument.
Well, so the sun is further than me when it's 115 here than it is when it's
the angle. It's the angle that it's
oh.
coming down at, not the proximity, Jaron.
Oh, my bad.
Baller Dave back.
Thanks, Baller Dave. Appreciate that. Let's see what else we got here. We do have some more super chats. Appreciate that. Dearth, what's your cost for the IR adaptation for the P1000?
I think it's $250, something like that.
Yeah, I think with free shipping even. If I remember right.
Free shipping, and these guys seem like they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Also, hey, we're going to take calls in the next hour. Make sure we get to Zoom Truth. He wants to promote a big activism day that he's putting together. So,
oh, sweet.
Yeah, make sure we answer his call and don't waste time with meatballers.
Hopefully, it's Saturday, May 11th, 2019. Is that the day we're going to talk about?
I'm not sure, actually.
We also have another one. Love you, bros. Hemiplane, love it. Yep, I like that too. Hey, Jaron, much love from Millington, Tennessee. I'm waiting on an FEIC to stage closer to this part of the country so I can attend. Keep putting that truth out there. We are certainly trying. And the other one is, the Marty Leeds comment. We'll check that on the Wolfgang How Big video. And that is all the super chats so far. So, when we get back from the break, again, if you want to stay with us, you will need to move over to Ginger Sugar Bush 905's channel, or you can just go to tfrlive.com and hit listen live. Go ahead.
And if you have the app, click on today's video selection, which if you haven't seen it yet, ODD's Truman Show video, excellent
video. Yep, watch that this morning. Very good. So if you want to stay with us, you'll have to move over as we will be going off the air here shortly. But we will stay on. We've got another hour, and we will be taking all the many phone calls. We've got like 10 lined up. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Jeranism.
Ginger, put your link in the chat, or I'll try to do it.
Thanks. See you guys in a minute. Don't go anywhere.
Yeah, go ahead, Ginger. Spam your link.
Spam it.
Frequency Radio is your #1 source for news and information without the hate, hype, and fear.